going direct from the GT ground. Make sure at least you go to the washroom, clean your face, clean up your shoes, and comb your hair and go. Once you enter, there is always some amount of nervousness, irrespective of what one may say. Try to enter with a smile and walk up to your chair, stand by the side or in front of your chair, and make sure that you wish correctly. This is a very, very important input. If you go before 12, it should be a good morning. If you go after 12, it should be a good afternoon. Normally, interviews are either held in the morning or afternoon. But this is the first time you're going to open your mouth. Don't make that mistake.
Yes.
Okay? Once you are wished back, he will ask you to sit down, say thank you, and sit down. When you sit down, move towards the back of the chair. Don't sit like what I'm sitting. Your back should be straight.
Yes, sir.
Keep your back straight. Keep your arms wherever you feel comfortable. The chair will always have arm support, arm rest. So you can either put them on the arm rest or put them on your lap, cross them, whichever way you feel. But first thing is make yourself comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Thereafter, the important thing is that there are two important issues. One is that you must keep looking into the eyes of the interviewing officer. That's an important input because that shows your level of confidence. And second thing is that you must speak loudly. You'll be sitting pretty far from the interviewing officer. Therefore, you have to speak loudly. Otherwise, it is natural that when you're completing a sentence, the voice level drops. So the last part of your conversation will not be audible.
Yes, sir.
Do not keep your tone flat. Where there is emphasis, raise your voice like we are talking just now. Wherever it is required, raise your tone. Don't keep the tone flat.
Okay, sir.
Now the questions are going to be clubbed or bunch of what is called a CIQ.
Yes, sir.
So now there are two things. One is that you got to remember the questions. And second thing is you have to answer the questions. Your aim should be to answer as many questions as possible without being reminded.
Yes, sir.
Okay, find out your own ways and means, whether you want to keep them on your fingertips, how many questions are, whatever I leave it to you. But should you forget, then there's no harm in asking. But in the initial stages, you must surely avoid not to ask for repetition. Reason being, your mind is fresh. As the interview progresses, the mind starts getting tired and there is a possibility that you might miss out something. However, should you miss in the beginning also, doesn't matter, but don't make it a habit.
Okay, sir.
That I'm asking you 5, then you answer 2, you're kept quiet, you're keeping quiet, then I remind you. Then you move on to the next, you ask 1, answer 1, I remind you for 3. That's a problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The marks are given on the basis of the inputs you provide, but the input should be relevant to the question asked. Whatever you know, go ahead. Never presume that the interviewing officer would be aware of this or that. You go ahead thinking that the person sitting in front doesn't have any knowledge of what the question has been asked. Therefore, you try to give as many details as possible. But like I said, they should be relevant to the question. Don't talk nonsense.
Yes, sir.
Do not tell lies. The moment you tell lies, you are going to get into more trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If there is an issue, accept it gracefully. You have not done well or something is there, accept the shortcoming gracefully. Again, do not unnecessarily try to cover up.
Yes, sir.
So there may be questions which you have not been able to answer. Therefore, such questions which you are not answered during the interview, you must update yourself on these questions which were not answered.
Okay, sir.
Reason being that if you come up for discussion during the final interview, there is a big probability that you could be asked the same questions. And if you answer them at that stage, your probability of getting recommended goes high.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Yes, sir.
Just one second, the children are looking at the Hey, B, let's try. The opening is always to make the candidate comfortable.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, you will be asked something with which you are familiar. More or less, the opening questions would be about something what you are doing, about your previous attempts in the SSB, about the place you belong to, if you are working, about your job profile. So these are things which is there to make you comfortable. Now, this serves as a two-way. One is that you start talking about something which you know, and in this situation, the interviewing officer will generally not interrupt. He keeps nodding his head or saying, okay, good. So you are hearing a voice, you are seeing, being acknowledged, your confidence level gradually starts going up and you start getting more comfortable gradually. To the interviewing officer, it is like a first impression. He gets an impression as to how much this person can talk about something which he or she is familiar with.
Okay, sir.
Okay, but you should not make this into a question answer session. An ideal situation is that the candidate should talk around 70% and the interviewing officer should be talking about 30%.
Correct, sir.
So also keep yourself updated on your journey details or what all you did after you received the call. These are type of questions which are asked in the beginning to make yourself comfortable. If there is a question asked about, let's say, your place you belong to or something, give full details. If I say, where do you come from, tell me something about the place you come from, then you don't have to tell me, sir, I come from Delhi. Now, if you tell me I come from Delhi, what happens? Then I tell you something about Delhi, you say Delhi is the capital of India. Okay, then I ask you something more. Now, what has happened? This has become a question answer session. But if I say, tell me about the place you come, and you start saying, sir, I come from Delhi, which is the capital, is the seat of the parliament is existing there, it is what all the embassies of the country are there, it is well connected by road, rail, adequate, this facility, that facility, then come to some problem areas. So now you are talking of a package.
Yes, sir.
So go about in an organized way about whatever is asked. Do not go into this question answer session. Once you get into this question answer session, there is a problem.
Okay, sir.
Now, this interview is there to check your 15 qualities. So your assessment is being made. So this is done informally. I'm chatting with you in an informal way, but it is not just to give a chit chat with you. I'm trying to assess.
Okay, sir.
Correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
once I'm trying to assess, then I will have my own means and ways of finding out this. For this, a very important input is your PIQ.
Okay, sir.
Whatever is written in your PIQ is my basis. I make my first impression from there. So whatever you have written in the PIQ, you should be fully conversant and you should be talking about those things which you have written in your PIQ. There's no point writing 10 things and speaking only about 2 things.
Correct, sir.
So I would also be interested in knowing what is your thought process.
Okay, sir.
So I cannot see inside your brain. How is this thought coming out? It's coming out in the form of words. So whatever you speak is taken for granted that this is what you are thinking.
Okay, sir.
Now, should you have some difficulty while speaking English and not getting the right sentence or the right word, do not hesitate to speak in Hindi.
Okay, sir.
Speak in Hindi, get out of the situation. Don't stress your mind. I have seen people stressing the mind unnecessarily, or I can make out that they are thinking something else but saying something else because of communication problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay, I do not know what is the setup now. During my time, there used to be a board about the interviewing officer chair where it was written, you can speak in Hindi. So I don't know if that board is there or not, but even if it is not there, it doesn't matter.
Yes, sir.
I am more interested in your thought process. Communication is only one art and one quality. Okay, and communication is not such a major issue because you find a lot of people come from villages and all where they are very poor in English, but once they get through and they go through the training, by the time training finishes, everybody is quite fluent in the language.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so these are the important do's and don'ts before the interview.
Please make
Okay,
notes because
Okay.
ये specially
So
आप लोगों के लिए कराया
with
जाएगा
this,
जो
we
नए
will now start with the interview per se. Do not interrupt or ask any questions in between, Anchal. You keep answering.
Okay,
Whatever
sir.
you understand, whatever you wonder, you keep answering. At the end of the interview, I will carry out a detailed debrief. After that, should you have any questions, you can ask me and clarify your doubts. And thereafter, there are other people sitting in the class. If they have any doubts, they can also clarify the same. Okay,
Yes,
right.
sir.
So, Anchal, I see you are self-employed.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about all this.
Okay, sir. So currently, sir, I am working as a content writer. I write content for multiple firms across the globe. So I've written blogs, articles, guest posts, and metadata for multiple companies. I've written for a restaurant-based chain in UK, for a global chain in Dubai, and I've also written for Pearl Academy. I've written for ISKCON temples, and those type of content that I write for multiple different companies across the globe.
So, how do you get the contacts to write for them? And generally, what topics are you writing on?
Okay, sir. So talking about the type of content that I'm writing on, it is varying. So when it comes to restaurant-based chains, I'm writing about the food type of content. When it comes to travel-based, I'm writing the content about various places, tourism-based, say for example Oregon of USA. So I'm researching about that and writing across the points regarding that. And when it comes to how I land those gigs, so there are multiple sites. There is Freelancer, and there is Upwork, there is Fiverr, where I upload gigs, and therein, if the client or the customer finds my gigs appropriate to their task, they hire me, and for that they pay me for the based on the word count.
So, when you are writing for, let's say, some chain in England, how do you go through that? Especially food.
Yes, sir. So the companies which I have been approached from are basically Indian-based companies, but they are settled in UK. So they are writing content with respect to Indian cuisine. So I research about those Indian cuisines, and then I write content across that because, as we all know, that the trend of Indian food across the UK is on the rise, and people have been moving towards the Indian culture too, and that is how they approach me, and I write content which is familiar with me, and I'm well aware of it.
What is the basis you think of their trying to approach you, and why not somebody else?
So basic. So it is based on the experience because I've already written for multiple companies and I've got the experience. So that is one of the factor. And thereafter, my previous view, you have to publish your portfolio. So if you have a good portfolio and they see it and they find it appropriate, so that is when they hire you.
Okay. And how much money do you make, and what are you doing with this money?
Since I am freelancing, so the money is not that great. However, it is enough to satisfy my needs as of now. So the money that I make as of now is 30,000 per month because it is freelancing and I work majorly on the weekends. So what I do with the money is I recharge the electricity at home, I get the groceries, and I pamper my siblings. And when we have to go out, so I sponsor those trips and go in the regular way.
Okay, so how much time average in a week do you work?
So it varies from the gigs that I've got. If I have gotten a gig which requires 500 to 1000 words, that does not require a lot of time. Whereas if it requires 2000 words or above, so that requires little time, and that varies with the gigs that I've gotten.
Everything is online. Your content is online. Your payment is online. Huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You enjoying the job?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
good.
Anchal, we'll continue talking in the same way. We will first talk about your education. Okay. We'll take class 10 as your baseline.
Okay, sir.
Starting from class 10 onwards, what is the overall percentage of marks that you've scored in each class up till now? In your academic career so far, what do you think has been your most favorite or liked subject? and there would be reasons for that. If there was a subject you didn't like, reasons for that as well. Same way, who's the most admired or favorite teacher who has come across in your academic career, and once again there would be reasons for those as well. About your friend circle, how friendly are you, how big is your circle, and amongst them I'm sure you must be having somebody as a best friend. Who's that person? And once again the reasons for those as well. The extracurricular activities which were available and what you participated in. Also, if there were any position of responsibilities that you held during your education, I would like you to update those as well.
Okay, sir. So starting from class 10, in class I've done my schooling from Presentation Convent Senior Secondary School, which is right in front of the Red Fort. And in class 10th, I got 9.8 CGPA, which is 93%. And thereafter, I took science in class 12th, which is physics, chemistry, biology, and informative practices with that. And therein, I scored 90.1% aggregate and 92% in the best four. Thereafter, in class, thereafter I took college, that is Daulat College in University of Delhi, which is in the North Campus. And there I have got 9.121 CGPA, which evaluates to 87%. And talking about the subject which I like the most, so over the course of time, I have developed a liking for English and science, because that gives me an opportunity to understand the world around me better. Say for example, why I like science is, if I like, say if we talk about the human body, that is completely chemistry based. We have multiple chemical reactions that are going on in our body. Then talking about biology, it is the surrounding around us, the environment, the plants and everything. And talking about physics, if we talk about that, say if I come in and I open the door, what is the principle? It is torque. So that is how I understand the environment around me. So that is why English and science has been my strongest subjects. And talking about the teacher which I like the most, and my favorite teacher was Miss Romila, and she has been one of the teachers which is the most disciplined out of the teachers which I found. And she used to ensure that we are well dressed, and she paid very crucial attention on the fact that we are presentable in our attires and everything. So that is why she is the one which is the apple of my eye, and is still in touch. So talking about my friend circle, I've got a lot of friends in my school, college, and I've also done a language course from St. Stephen's College in University of Delhi, that is Center for Foreign Languages. And currently, I'm also pursuing the masters from IGNU, that is in MSc Environmental Sciences. So I've got a lot of friends from all across the place. Talking about my school, I've got a very good lot of people, and that is Manpreet, Hadia, and we have Garima, we have Akansha, Riddhi. So all of them are my closest friends. And from college, I've got Ashi and Kirti. Thereafter, from language courses also, I've got multiple friends, that is Ole, and we have got Shradha ma'am. So all those people are there with me. Talking about my closest friend, she is Niharika. She was with me in my chemistry tuitions, since science is my favorite subject and we bonded over the topics of chemistry. So we have got a very close bonding together, and she is currently working in the company in Gurgaon. Whereas my other friends, such as Manpreet, she is working in TCS in Delhi itself. And talking about Akansha, she is working in Google, which is in Gurgaon. And talking about Riddhi, she's currently pursuing law, as well as she's working as a criminal lawyer in the High Court of Delhi. Then talking about just a second, sir.
Extracurricular activities, position of responsibilities.
Yes, the extracurricular activities. I have believed that a holistic development is required for any individual. So I have paid complete attention to my academics as well as my extracurriculars. So I have been a part of my gender champion cell at college, and I have been
what?
Gender champion cell, sir.
Okay.
Then I have also participated in the art faculty, that is art team of my school. I have been the editorial board of my school. I have also incorporated myself in sports, that is I was in track and field at school. I used to run 4 into 100 meter. I have played shot put and discus at zonal levels, and I also hold a blue one belt in taekwondo from the Delhi Association. And talking about the positions of responsibility, I was the middle school captain in my school in class 8th. Thereafter, I was the school captain in class 11th. And I was a member of the department fest in college, that is the Department of Life Sciences, Astitvu, and I have also held responsibilities in NCC. So I was the cadet under officer in NCC. Talking about that, I was also part of the Republic Day camp. That is, I was the best cadet for Delhi Directorate in the air wing, and I was also the maximum mark scorer in the sea certificate examination of air.
Okay, what are the different types of belts in Taekwondo?
Okay, sir. So the type of belt varies from level to level. So we have two subcategories in Taekwondo. That is, one is the colored belt, that is Kup, and the other one is Dan. Dan belts are already black in color. So that is after you complete the Kups level. So in the Kup level, you have multiple belts. That is, the first one is white, that is the initial level. Then we have yellow. Then we have green. Then we have blue. Then we have blue one. Then we have red. Then we have red one. Then we have advanced black, and then we have black.
So why did you stop at blue then?
So, in my school, we used to have taekwondo till class 10th. Thereafter, we focused more towards the extracurricular, towards the academics. So that is why I was more focused towards academics and the other sports that I took up. So that is why I left.
So you think you're capable enough of defending yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What would be the weight of the discus and the shot put which you have been participating in?
Okay, sir. So the weight of the discus and the shot put. The discus is around 4 kgs. For above 18, that is, the under 18 is around 3 kgs. Whereas if you talk about the discus throw, it is about 7 kgs. And yes, sir. No, the discus is around 1 kg for women and 2 kg for men.
And the shot put is 4 kg for women.
Yes.
Okay. Right. What about NCC? What is the motto of the NCC? When is the NCC day celebrated? Who's currently DG of the NCC? You said you were the under officer or what officer, whatever it is. What was the basis of the selection of this responsibility? Why did you think that they gave you this appointment?
Okay, sir. So, talking about NCC as you asked, so I was given the task of the cadet under officer because of my responsibilities. I used to come in the morning at time, and I used to take the classes of my juniors. I used to brief them, and since I participated in the Republic Day camp, so I had a clear understanding of how the drills are done, how the instructions are given, and how can they prepare for best cadet, and how can they incorporate the habits and the discipline of learning about the aircrafts and what all things are there. So all those things have in a certain way helped me stand out from the crowd, and that is when, based on my responsibility and the tasks that I've done, I was chosen as a cadet officer. And talking about the DGNCC, that is General AP Singh. That is, sorry, sir.
What is his rank?
Just a second, sir.
Okay, doesn't matter. When is the NCDA celebrated? What is the motto of NCC?
Yes, sir. So the motto of NCC is unity and discipline, and I cannot recall the day when it is celebrated. So I just get back to you with that.
Okay, right. So now
Last Sunday
you
of
were in
November.
Delhi also. When what was the difference in college when you went to college?
Yes, sir.
How did you feel? I believe there's ragging and a lot of things going on in Delhi. How did you feel? What was the environment when you went initially?
Okay, sir. So talking about ragging in colleges, so as we enter the college and we are enrolled in college, we already have to sign the bond that ragging is not permissible and it is not allowed to rag anybody, and the seniors are also bound by that bond. So it is not any more prevalent in the colleges of Delhi University.
Okay, and you said you've been the school captain also.
Yes, sir.
Again, was it election selection or did you treat people to samosas and buy the votes, or was it nominated?
No, sir.
Why were you given this responsibility?
Okay, sir. So in the middle school, since we were in class 8th, so everybody had to vote. So all the 8th class students across the different sections voted for the candidate they favored the most, or who was the most eligible for the task. And when it comes to class 12th, in class 11th, when the school captain is chosen, there is a software which was developed in our school, which was already done by the students itself, and I also was a participant of that software development. So we developed a software wherein the students from class 11, 12th, 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th and 8th, everybody of the senior school have to vote for the candidates, and we're supposed to present ourselves in the morning assembly first. We have to give a brief of our, what is our role, what have we done till now, what is our contribution to the school, and what all other responsibilities that we've already taken. So based on that, we gave a speech in the morning assembly, and the candidates are thereafter interviewed by the panel, which is the senior teachers are there, and then the principal is there. And after that, after getting the shortlisting, then we have the voting system in our schools wherein a day is decided, and every student and every class, based on the duration and the time period, are allowed to come and vote on the software and wait for the candidate.
Okay, and what points do you think where you emphasized and people considered you better than the others?
So I have been a participant in my extracurriculars, and I have been present in multiple societies as well, in the art team, in the debating team. So that is why people already knew me from my school. And since I was also the middle school captain, I've been disciplined, and they've seen me in tasks of responsibility. So with that, I also gave a good presentation in the assembly. I already did my end of research, and how and what all questions can be asked for the same, and I prepared beforehand. So,
But you had to volunteer first for this responsibility.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But why did you, because it affects your studies, taking these additional things, affects your studies. Didn't you think that studies are more important?
Sir, I believe I have managed my studies as well as the tasks of responsibility that I got, and I've aced my curriculars, extracurriculars, and I've done my responsibility well.
Okay, since you're so popular and you've done so much, if I happen to meet some of your schoolmates and ask them about you, what would they say?
Sir, we'll be very happy to meet again after that point of time, because it's been a while since I've been out of school. And if you happen to meet them, they'll have all the good things to say about me. They'll be telling me about how disciplined I was, how I used to write their names on the board whenever they used to talk in class. So that is going to be a very wonderful reunion, and they'll be sharing the
No,
details.
you're not meeting them. I'm meeting them. Okay, let's say I happen to meet your friend and I ask her. I say, describe Anchal. What would she say?
Okay, sir. So my friend would say that I am very disciplined. I am very, fun-loving. I enjoy, incorporating in discussions, talks, and we like discussing about various things. So they'll be saying that. They'll tell me that I am very disciplined in terms of my physical appearance also. I like to maintain a good demeanor. I like to, calm down the classroom when the students used to make noise and everything. And except that, they'll say that I'm very hardworking and educated, because they've seen me
Hardworking and?
educated in terms of my grading and everything.
Okay.
So since they've seen me perform well in academics, since they've seen me in roles of responsibility, they've seen me interact with my peers, my friends, so they'll be giving good reviews about what kind of person I am. And since my friends are very close to me, whenever they happen to come to one place, they are very well welcome. And I believe my friends are not just my friends, they are my family after all.
Great. So you're very fond of discussing with your friends also, but sometimes, not sometimes, quite often, between friends there is disagreement during discussions.
Yes, sir.
Then what do you do?
So we sort it out. We sit together and we, identify a middle ground across that, and we figure it out on our own, because see, friendship has to prosper anyway. So we believe in communicating. Communication is a solution to every problem.
But the middle ground which you are coming to conclude is not in agreement with actually what you are thinking. Then
So then I'll persuade a little, she'll compromise a little, or she'll persuade a little, I'll compromise a little. That is how friendship is supposed to be.
okay, and if there's something which your friends would like you to improve upon or something they don't like about you, what would that be?
So the first complaint that my friends will have is I should come and meet them more often.
You should meet them more often.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Since I've been involved in my competitive exam as well as my masters and my language courses also, so the time that they want me to come and meet is quite often, and I cannot fix the time in my schedule. So the one thing that they'll say is I should come and meet them often.
What language did you learn and why did you do this language course? What is the advantage and what competitive exams have you been appearing where you can't meet your friends?
Okay, sir. So language. So I've currently pursued A1 in language that is German, Goethe. I've done
German.
Yes, sir. I've done German from St. Stephen's College, Center for Foreign Languages in the University of Delhi, which is affiliated by Goethe Institute. Thereafter, I've also done A2 and B1, that is B1 from Goethe itself directly. So I have got the certification for A1. I have to sit for the A2 and the B1 examination as well. And talking about the competitive exams, so I've been preparing for CDS FCAT, and moving forward, as I complete my masters, I'll be preparing for NET examination as well.
Okay, but then what is the advantage? Why did you do this German? There's so many courses. Why did you choose to do foreign language?
So language is the key of building people and bonding together. So the reason why I say this is because if I happen to travel to Germany, for example, if I communicate in the native language, that gives a clear indication that I'm showing respect to their culture, their traditions, and I've put in the effort to learn their language so as to communicate with them. So that in itself is a representation of the respect and the cultural ties that we can have together. So I believe any language for that matter.
I don't know, not many people who opt for foreign language, they give preference to French and Spanish.
Yes, sir.
German, this is the first time I'm hearing somebody, learning German.
Yes, sir. So Germany has a lot of wonderful courses for science as well. So that can also be a prospect in the future. So looking at that, German was my language of preference. And Spanish I've also been learning from Duolingo. So that is one of the other factors.
Okay, right. What are your interests and hobbies? What do you do in your spare time? What is your routine like? How do you spend the day? What time do you get up? And then in detail, what you keep doing till you go to sleep?
Okay, sir. So talking about my hobbies and interests, I like to read a lot about geopolitics. I enjoy working out and jogging, and I also enjoy learning languages, as I've already mentioned. And in addition to that, I also like reading. And talking about my daily routine, I wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I prefer home chantings in the morning, and thereafter I read the newspaper in the morning and also watch videos related to the current newspaper that we have. Thereafter, I help my mother in the daily activities, that is the morning chores, breakfast and lunch and everything. And thereafter, I put my time, as I'm currently pursuing my master's and I'm working on my synopsis and dissertation, I've been researching for that. And in the afternoon also, I work out a little, that is high intensity cardio or aerobics, whichever is my mood of the day. So I decide accordingly. And thereafter, I have my lunch. And in the afternoon, and that is the late afternoon, I prefer to read about the competitive exam that I'm giving. I used to study and apply for the various examinations that we have, that is CTS, FCAT and that. Thereafter, in the late afternoon, that is around 7:30, I also go out for a run in the evening. And
You go for a
run, jogging. Yes, sir. And thereafter, when I come back, I also apply for the gigs that are available at that point of time and which suit my interest. And after doing that, I also take some time to learn Spanish and Duolingo at night, having dinner with my family and watching videos on YouTube related to geopolitics.
How does it, let's hear some important issues on geopolitics. I've been out of touch for some time.
Yes, sir. So, what would you like to?
Up to you, whatever you think is current and important. Your choice. Just 1 second.
Yes, sir.
Nidhi, I'm taking a class, the children are here.